So far, all of our Python coding has been done in Jupyter notebooks, but there's another way of running Python that's equally important, and we're going to need it for writing our Streamlit apps. So let me start without the Streamlit part and just show you an example. This is going to be writing a Python file, a .py file, and this is going to be very similar to writing a script in MATLAB and then running that script. So right now I've made this just blank folder on my desktop. And here, this .py file, that's getting saved in that sample folder on my desktop. And for example, let's do for I in range 10. So that'll go 0 up to 10, but not including 10. Then let's use f strings just for practice. The square of I, so inside the curly braces, that means this I will get replaced by whatever its value is I squared. Oh, and I almost wrote squared wrong. Star. So let me save that. And now let me go to terminal. And so if you're doing this from Anaconda, then it'll be very similar. You'll be over here in the environment section, and you will have opened a terminal like this. Okay, here on my computer, I found this is what works best for me. So here I'm inside that same sample folder. I navigated over to that. And now I need to know what's the name of this. Hey, it's sampleapp.py. I can also see it like this, sampleapp.py. Now to tell Python to run it, I write Python and then a space, then sampleapp.py. Notice how this printed those 10 numbers and their squares. And you can ignore this base. That's just about what Python environment I'm in. Okay, so great. Now let's do an example using Streamlit instead. I'm going to say import Streamlit as st. That's the conventional way to import it. And then I'm going to say streamlit.title intro app. Okay, I've saved it. And now if I try writing Python and then sample app again, that's not going to work. Instead, I'm going to use Streamlit, run, now sample app. And this automatically launches in the browser, or if it didn't, then you can copy this and paste it into a browser. And then now you can see this intro app, right? And let me do maybe 2 more examples. Oops. So that does some formatting because it's a title. I could also write some text without formatting. So formatless, I'm not sure if that's a word, text. And now rather than having to run that command again, you can see I've actually lost the place where I can run the commands. Instead, I can go back here and this says, do you want to rerun either now or always? So let's say always. So that's good. Now let's do one example of what's called a widget. So let's do st.slider. And I mean, just like Altair, pandas, or anything else, it takes some getting used to what the syntax is for these things. So the initial part is some text. And then let's say from minimum value to maximum. And let's check what happened. And that's cool. It has some nice formatting, but can't really do anything with it. If I want to do something with it, I can say, for example, s equals. Then now I can say st.write. And now I can use an f string again. The value of the slider is s. Okay, I've saved it. And now you can see how it updates automatically. And we could do the same sort of thing inside of a Jupyter notebook pretty easily using something called IPy widgets. But the great thing about Streamlit is that eventually once we have an app like this that we like, and we can upload it onto GitHub, and then we can share it with people via Streamlit very easily, like much more easily than you can share a Jupyter notebook with somebody else, because it'll just be a website they can click on and then interact with the app, and they won't need to have Python installed on their computer, for example. Okay, so that was just a quick introduction to how the formatting for working with Streamlit.